Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you ready for this?
So ready. Bring it on.
Well, it looked like Sunny was ready for Drew.
Okay, how do you feel about the whole thing? Because I know it's taken me years to come back around since
Years.
Nixon Falls in terms of making peace with, the versions of Sonny and who he's come to be now. But
Hmm.
boy, am I loving who he is now.
Yeah, no, Sunny has come back to being Sunny for sure. I
Mhm.
think the best part for me is that he managed to handle Drew, that he managed to kind of shove in his face that Drew can do all of this, but he won't get what he truly wants, which is credit and Willow. Because when someone comes in guns blazing, right, with pretty strong leverage against your son and making
Mhm.
all these requests, it would be easy to be like, crap, you know? Like Stella and Curtis are like, I guess he won this round. That's how that scene. So just the fact that like Sonny kind of kept it together and still gave it to him and didn't kind of give Drew what he wanted. He didn't really cower. He didn't say, yeah, I'll do it. He just didn't say anything at all.
I love that the ADA was just witness to all of
Oh,
this and
yeah.
like more of her gray area is showing now. Does that sound
That's what
weird?
we
But you
want
know
to
what I
call.
mean.
He's like, this is insane to
We
me.
can happily pick something else.
Like the fact that when she was done, she's like, oh my gosh, all of those op-eds, like you're the one being menaced now. And I'm just like, oh gosh, is this for real? Is this for real? Like I just cat with her. Like it's like Diane asked that question, who's playing who, basically, you know? But it's so
Yeah.
clear that like hook, line, and sinker, she's falling for all of his steps. All of them.
All we're all we're missing is like the origin story, and
Oh,
then we got it.
oh yeah. Oh, we didn't get the origin story yet. But like when it comes to like Drew, he said something really specific. He said, "You would let your son go to jail." At that point, honestly, I would have thrown his dead son in his face. I know we don't do that. Like
We
as
do
a people, we try not to throw people's dead children in their faces. But I
Yeah.
think this would have been an exception to be like, what would Oscar think about who you've become?
Okay, I kinda like that. I do like that. I think we do need to throw in his
Yeah. So that's where I hoped that that would lead. But I mean, look, the ADA, she's all up on that. She's handling it. She
handling it.
she walked out of his house and was all like, "Leave it to me" tone. And then she even kind of did a double back looking at his door and smiled. And I was just like, okay. Hope he doesn't have a ring camera because her whole shtick about trying to keep this on the hush
Profesh.
is
Mhm.
just, I mean, look, it's tough. It's tough. And so Sonny learns more, right? He gets threatened by Drew. He calls Diane and he has Michael come over. Were you surprised that Michael ended up sharing the whole Willow like Daisy sitch?
I was surprised, but he doesn't have any other cards to play here, right?
Hmm.
So I think he needs to follow his gut, get back to that place where he needs to just pursue what he needs to, right?
Like, I know that Michael knows his dad, right? He
Mm.
knows his dad pretty well, the business. He's seen different sides of his dad.
Mhm.
The one thing that I question, putting it out there, not
Okay.
super important, but,
Okay.
like when Diane will kind of like be like, what's he doing? Like the whole like Sunny interacting with the ADA.
Mhm.
I'm just like, does Michael know? Like, I know he's old enough, but I feel like he's too much son. He's too much of a son to Sunny to just know about his daddy and the DAs and how he maneuvers that situation.
Yeah, I don't think he knows, and I don't think he wants to know.
Exactly, because 'cause I'm like, Michael knows a lot, right? And he kinda, like, deals with it. But this is one of those things where I feel like Michael is not even allowing himself to even know that, or see that, or recognize that, or acknowledge any part of Sunny in that manner. That's how I
Yes.
felt that was all being navigated, because he was away, right? Like, he was gone when Diane, like, was more direct with Sunny.
Mhm, mhm.
What I did not expect at the police station, though, was there to be 0 witnesses who could corroborate. 0 out of 9 could corroborate that punch.
No, but that was amazing because, like there's loyal employees to Carly. Everybody's kind of been in it. There's like the normies of the town have picked their side, obviously, too. And it was so unexpected and so beautiful.
Yes.
And Cameron Mathis, Drew, does such an amazing job at being a bad guy. Like, I love when his eyes start to like bug out of his head, like he's going to completely freak out and he has to like try to calm down. It's like I look for those moments, right?
No, he does such a great job. Like, he did a great job of being practically a cartoon when he first started. It
Right.
was like, "Do you need your own cartoon?" Like, he was so bubblegum when he came back. So this is just definitely a different side, and he's nailing it because I get really upset. Like, I'm getting, gosh, dare I say, like, more than when Nina was Ninaing? Like,
Oh, yeah,
maybe more.
definitely. More. I can picture you being more like when I'm watching, it's like you're sitting beside me.
Because, like, with Nina, she was kind of, like, distorted and delusional in just specific areas. But with Drew, it's like, it's touching too many people. His delusions are infiltrating so many storylines and characters on the show. Like, his Drewciferness knows no
Love
bounds,
it.
basically, whereas Nina's crazy had bounds.
That's so true. She kept her circle small, whereas he
Yes.
is just pushing every single person's buttons in this darn town.
But don't worry, Edie Turner is on this. She
On
even
it.
went to Anna. Anna's like, "You're tricking me, I think." And then Drew comes in. She's like, "I'll handle this." And then continue to watch her handle this. And I just don't think that like sexiness is necessary in the handling of this because at the end when they were at the PCPD, I'm like, I don't think in the squad room you should like approach him closer, like close the gap sexily. Like, I don't think that's how you set the boundary I believe you want set. But that's just me.
I mean, fair enough. We're not ADAs,
No,
but
so
we
I don't know.
definitely
Maybe a sexy close to a conversation, right,
yeah,
is
yeah.
how it's done.
We don't have the
We
manual.
don't know. We don't know. So they're all there to handle Michael's like questioning, show that he's volunteering. And then when they realize that there are no witnesses, we all know that there's one left. So at this point, again, Drew spoke too soon. He mentioned the Stella thing. Martin's putting this together real fast
Mhm.
and learned about this news just in time. And what did you think when Martin showed up and when Drew was there being like, look what I brought. Somebody who will testify for me.
My friend that I pay. I was so thankful. Like you talked about how, Martin and Tracy will band together, for the sake of Stella. So I still see that storyline happening, but I'm so happy that Martin wasn't swayed by the fact that Drew was going to throw more money at him or brought up his ex-wives, that he like stood by his standards.
Oh my gosh, but it's the standing that really got me. It was quite hot. Like, he was just, like, leaning on the wall, arms crossed, setting boundaries, and I was like, "Wow,
Yes.
buddy, evolved!" Because before, when the men were all aggressive and violent, I'm like, I like it." And then in this instance, I'm like, "Oh my god, did you see the boundaries on that guy?"
That is so good. If we
I
were
feel
single, we would totally use that.
So I was so happy when he crossed his arms, didn't take the pen, then had a word with Drew. But then I got confused when he's like, "Let's get out there and finish this." I was
Me
like,
too.
so did Drew make headway on the whole like ex-wives sitch? Turns out no headway at all, and he did not sign. That whole thing was amazing. And then Drew got all threatening. I'm like, how does that work? You have zero witnesses and you're like, you botched this. You're no Robert. It's like, what? But she handled him because that's what ADAs do.
But the fact that Drew was also threatening Sunny and Michael in front of Diane, in front of the ADA, like, I love this whole, like, loose cannon.
Because now that you bring that up, and I'm like, I wasn't mistaken. I'm like, did Drew threaten to not stay away from his kids? That's what
Yeah,
I
totally.
understood.
Totally.
He's like, I'm gonna be around your kids' hoarder. And I'm like, that's, I don't know.
So weird to
Really
say.
creepy. I
Yeah.
feel like you have a job. A.D. Turner told you that perhaps you should focus on that. Then he went to go see Willow.
Oh my gosh, how did you feel
At
about
this,
that?
it's so ew. It's
Uh,
so ew. Like, I
so
just can't. And I just feel at this point, you deserve whatever. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like at this point, like, I don't know. Like, at that point, I felt you don't deserve anything Nina, which is saying a lot, right? Like Nina's come
Yes.
such a long way that like I don't even think like Nina deserves obviously a Willow that can appreciate her, but like Willow does not deserve Nina. You
No,
know,
not at all.
I think we can all acknowledge that Nina did the best she could, and because of her circumstances, it led her to not be upfront about the Drew thing. And we can all understand that fear. I don't know that her fear was real. Like, in the sense of where Willow was at, she
Mhm.
would have been mad, but she wasn't so far gone.
That's so true.
Right? So, and I mean, again, in retrospect, I can understand her fear, but I think as time went on, I think even Nina could see that, like, yeah, I probably should have. Like, what I was afraid would happen, that wasn't it. It's like I saw later that, yeah, later on, she had a valid reason for legitimately being afraid. Like, Willow was so far gone, so brainwashed. The part of her
Mhm.
that could have heard Nina disappeared, but that part
Yes.
did exist still. And I think it would have burst out of her bubble. Again, Willow needs to take responsibility for herself. Nina can
Yes.
take responsibility and learn from this. But like, I mean, look, again, we saw how things winded up with her losing her kids. And I guess in Willow's eyes, she sees her as part of that. But what's even worse is Drew telling her, and I feel like she believes him, that Nina was the one who was like pressuring him not to tell Willow. Come on.
That was messed up, so beyond. Like, the fact that she's still Lucas was bang on, right?
Yes.
Like, she is so good at ignoring her mother, making sure she's strong and stern about, her boundaries. But with Drew, there was, like, literally none. He walks in and she's
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah. So and she hugs him after that. So I definitely feel for Nina, but I feel like she handled her interaction with Willow well by immediately stating that she was there for Maxie. Because Johnny's like, she should come in the room. I'm like, no, she can't burst
Oh
in the
my
room now.
gosh,
Like,
yeah.
he just amplified her anger toward Nina, and she just can't. Like, honestly, there's nothing but space. And I just don't even think that Willow has even fallen at this point. She doesn't understand the situation. I feel like Christina helped drive that point home that we've been stressing. Michael is not keeping the kids from her. The judge is,
Oh,
based on valid reasons. And if you are going back to court, why wouldn't you be looking to take the judge's like statements that they made, the criteria that they laid out, the justification, and work to undo that? You know what I mean? Like, and with Elizabeth, I am just stunned, right? Because I felt like at first she was giving Willow the space to kind of think for herself because there's just been a lot of people in her ear, right? It's
yes,
just been chaos
absolutely.
for so long. And I feel that it's cleared to Elizabeth. She's vocalized it. And I think everyone can plainly see that Willow has lost her way.
Yes.
And she's acknowledges that she made, in Christina's words, terrible, terrible decisions.
Terrible.
But what surprises me is while I understand the concept of compassion, right? It's a mix of, let's say, the Lucas stuff too, where Lucas is saying, what are you doing? Like you're asking other people to go out on a limb. What are
Mhm.
you doing? So
Exactly.
if Elizabeth wants to be her friend, her advocate, I just feel like if you think that she made bad choices, and I think like, of course, I hope that she gets the kids back. I don't think that this should be permanent. I understand what Christina sees with her and the whole, I think it was shocking to Willow to hear that you were faking it. Yeah, a ton of people had to fake it with you because it was your way or the highway. And so that's maybe new information for her. But again, she's not processing anything. But of course, I think that there was a time, and that's the point. And it's bothering me about all of a sudden the Willow sympathizers. It's like, I think it is hard what Willow's going through, but I don't think like that approach like chases at Elizabeth right now, just being like she deserves a break. Of course, I think she does, but she's also capable of creating that break and that opportunity and that relief by like dealing with it. Like if somebody made really bad mistakes and kind of lost her way,
Mm.
doesn't Willow have to show some type of healing or understanding of how she got there or do some kind of work to be in a path where the mistakes she made are less likely? And it just shocks me that no one's encouraging her like to heal. Like right now, the
Right?
solution appears to be get character witnesses and work, work, work. And as Rick pointed out, like that's great that you're coming and you're doing your job and people could attest to what you are professionally. But like, what are you doing? So I was just really surprised. Like I could understand, Elizabeth looking at Christina and being like, dude, dial it back a notch. You got a second chance at
Mhm.
life, basically, that I gave to you. But there's a bit of an old Elizabeth there, that self righteousness. I can
Right.
understand you giving her a reality check, but I did think it was a bit much, like a complete free pass in the sense of like, you have to testify or else, because that's pretty much where she left it at.
But I love that we didn't get yes, we got to see a little bit of the old Elizabeth, but I love how quickly it was cut short when she caught
Exactly.
Willow speaking to Drew. So, yes, that person still lives in there, but I know that she'll be humble when she hears or confronts or whatever her next steps are, Elizabeth, towards the Willow situation.
I agree that new Elizabeth is definitely more nuanced and more gray, and they've been making a point of that. It's through
Yes.
Rick, though, where there's that conversation where she's a bit more self-aware and talks about these different aspects of her and the gray and Rick. But yeah, like I just think that like I I want to see Willow get better. I mean, I want to see her do some crazy stuff too. But I
Same.
think for that to happen, she needs some good person in her corner. And of course, I felt like that would be Elizabeth. That's why I was surprised that she was sort of bypassing this. And I'm like, she is the Michael's sister, right? Like that is also weird. And again, she could have asked Nina, but she doesn't want to
Exactly.
make herself uncomfortable. She doesn't want to do that. Like she's not in therapy. She's basically at work and she's like, I'm trying to hold it together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. By sheer force of will. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Willpower to stay strong is only going to take you so far. You obviously need to do more work.
But she has no willpower. She's constantly
No, she
talking to
has no
Drew,
willpower.
believing him. I was like a little tiny, and I know you're gonna laugh, but like 1% of me was like, okay, is she playing Drew? Like, is this a strategy to figure out, like how dark he has gone? But I was like, nope, nope, it's gone. It's not a strategy. She actually wants his help, and she actually
Yeah, it was wishful thinking that that could be happening. I mean, look, I feel for Nina, but at the same time, do people not understand the concept of time?
and
Just
work. But anyways,
I just mean like this is a big deal. It's big news, and I know she wants it to be resolved, but kind of
oh
like the
yes,
Geo
yes.
thing, I do think
Uh-huh.
time will settle things, you know? We saw that certain experiences can shift how people view life.
Exactly.
I was really surprised, when I saw that Maxie had Martin come to Home and Heart.
Yes.
Immediately, I was like, I don't really like the idea of Maxie and Brooklyn on opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say this doesn't make sense for Maxie's character. She's made it clear how much she cares about the company, that she's the breadwinner for her kids, and they're really important. But at the same time, too, look at what she did when Jason returned. The police were there and they were questioning Spinelli and her. To a degree, this girl has lived in the gray.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I did find it odd that Maxie would kind of go to these lengths. I understand it, like she's trying to prevent future consequences. But Tracy isn't Brooklyn, right? Like Brooklyn has personal reasons for being happy with not coming forward. But Tracy is a businesswoman and she had business related reasons to not come forward. So I was just surprised that that didn't carry enough weight for Maxie and that she would go to those lengths considering her, I don't know, loose relationship with the law.
I totally agree, and I feel like because it's so out of character, they're just, like, working together because of her move.
Exactly, right? They're also trying to explain,
Yes.
her move. So immediately, here's a new cream. Close up on rubbing the cream.
Yep.
Falls, close up of the cream itself. Lucas even suggested the cream. No, 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 no. Thankfully that there was a talk screen report, and Anna does make she asked the question, like, could she have been poisoned?
Yes.
And today, Brennan learned about Maxie's situation.
Yes, you
So
did.
perhaps that'll open the door to them looking into this a little further. But how do you feel, right, about seeing Maxie in this condition and that the condition was related to like a heart issue and seeing Felicia upset because we all know the history there?
Okay, I thought you were gonna ask me about the wrench because I was gonna vomit,
No, not yet. I'm
but
not going there. I'm sticking to Maxie for now. Drag bingo moment. I'm like, how? Why?
how?
Why?
But no, about Maxie, it's quite seriously devastating. Like, I was so sucked in because it's not just your typical, like, something is going awry. Like everybody said, she's healthy. When
Hmm.
Felicia had her moment and described her feelings towards the fact that they got a miracle once, has her miracle expired? When she was having that conversation with Anna, like early star to that scene with Felicia. It was
It's so
heart
hard for you. You
wrenching.
you were about to say to those 2, you cut yourself off and only were like, "Felicia is so." I love how you maneuvered. Anna, you moving around, giving her a star at that moment. She did good in that moment, I admit, saying like, no one's here. You can let it out with me.
I do love that she was able to take a step back and be there for a friend. That's the thing. When Anna's out with Jordan, when Anna's being a good friend to Felicia, I like her in those roles. But
Yes.
in all honesty, the spotlight went to Felicia just because there's so much emotion there. There's the distance of when, she's younger and all the things she missed out on, the whole, her heart transplant and what that comes with, and the life
Hmm.
and relationship they built now. So that scene was so heavy on so many levels.
Yeah, I think I was shocked. Right? I was a bit
Mhm.
mad, and I was very indignant. I was very like, how dare you? How dare
Yeah.
you invoke the heart issue?
Right?
I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. BJ's heart, seeing Felicia like this. Mac didn't look like he could hold it
Oh,
together. Cody
yeah.
looking all devastated. Like, I was just not okay. Spinelli.
Oh my gosh, Spinelli. Holy cow, that broke my heart.
Yeah, so I wasn't happy about it, but I think we know how they're going to account for her absence.
And that's what I'm holding on to, right? The fact that we know that information, like a lot of the times we don't like knowing the secrets. We don't want to know when something's happening beforehand. But I'm
Yeah.
really grateful I know this piece of information.
I don't know what I would have done. Like, sometimes when things are so big, I just assume that's not real. That's what happened with the whole Lulu coma thing, because it caught me off guard. I did not know anything about like any cast shakeups, and then I remember they rolled her out into the elevator.
Yes.
I was like, I guess we'll see her in a little bit. Like, it won't hit me. Like, to this day, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Gladys is coming back. Like, when
Stop.
Cindy told her to go, I'm like, well, obviously she's not leaving the show. So certain things I don't accept. So I'm waiting. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So now they're kind of telling us, they're kind of getting us ready, being like, she could be in a coma. Lulu, do you see? I see, but what I'm also seeing is Lulu acting like a human. And I don't
Right?
like it. I'm just sort of like, we're doing this? Like, we said it. We didn't want her to evolve so soon. And of course, a tragedy like this can cause the growth. We wanted her growth to be a little bit more painful, a little bit more like vengefully,
Yeah.
a little bit more spidey. Because to me, I'm having a tough time with this whole thing because I thought it would happen gradual because I had this idea that made me understand why Lulu is being so irrational with
Yes.
Brooklyn. Did I share it?
Yeah, you did.
Did?
Yeah.
What'd I say?
You're talking about the fact that she wasn't ready to deal with her feelings, that it was so incredibly overwhelming. So instead, she just kind of lashed out. And that's why she's been acting the way she does, because she hasn't taken one moment to face the reality of the time that she's missed.
So
And the fact that, like, Laura's more of a parent and Dante's more involved, and all these people have all these involved relationships.
okay, so you're taking me back to when I was editing and I heard all of this, and now I have a new idea. I have a new idea. So you know how we talked about everything you just said, like like how disorienting it is. Like she even
Yes.
said to Obrecht, like I didn't know how much time had passed until I saw Rocco, and ugh, that's tough. But I
Yeah.
realized this: everything was so disorienting, right? Every dynamic was different, and if anybody wanted to feel grounded and wanted familiarity, no one can ground you like Brooklyn because it was the only thing that was the same. It was the only
Yes.
person that would treat the same. So I feel like Brooklyn was her dysfunctional support teddy bear that she used to cope.
Oof. Oof.
Because otherwise, it makes no sense. Like, that is what I'm holding on to. Because how can you sit in a room with Obrecht, who literally held a knife out while your baby was like on a like strapped to her? Okay.
Yes.
But Brooklyn is the one that you're overly hostile and still angry about. Angry about issues that like you were past like pre-coma. Like, it does not make sense how she reacts to Brooklyn and how she reacted to Obrecht. So my only logical explanation for that is that she went over the top with Brooklyn because Brooklyn was the only thing that kind of felt like home. Odd as it is.
Oh.
And with everybody now being like, Tracy, like, oh, you're the same. You're the two sides of the same coin. And I'm like, we're going to do this again because
Right.
this is where, Maxie and Brooklyn kind of, happened. Well, I mean, yes, it had to do with like her baby, but like the coma.
Yes,
Sparked
yes.
friendship, and now here we go. Like, there should be Hallmark cards for this. Comas, sparking friendships everywhere between frenemies. So, yeah. So, she did that whole thing with Obrecht, and I figured if you could do that with Obrecht, you're telling me you can't do that with Brooklyn, and then she did.
She really did. I was just the part that annoyed me that was still very Lulu is the fact that she wanted to speak first. Like, I know she should be the one apologizing, but I felt like she just also needed to control the situation a little bit.
Well, yeah. Like, I think it was so big for her that if she was gonna do something that uncomfortable, that she had to feel in control. There wasn't much of a conversation. Like, it was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't recall there being one. The one that she had with Obrecht was definitely really impressive.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
this like you were saying, so much about the coma and what we were talking about last week, and now we're watching her for the first time since she's been back, processing her coma through Maxie's potential coma.
Yes. Yeah,
She's
sorry, I was processing.
like, I think she's accessing her feelings by talking about Maxie, so she's experiencing
Yes.
this double time. She's also coming to understand how challenging this was for everyone else. So, I mean, look, this is the time for it to hit her. And I mean, I guess with Maxie stepping out, like the conversation between Laura and Lulu today, like we did all this for you, and this is how Maxie was there for you. And
Yeah.
it was documented, right? We actually saw those nail salon sessions
Yeah.
with Lulu and just the idea of finding the strength to do that back for her. So I mean, I don't know what this ends up meaning for the stories that were already set in motion.
No, that's true. I hope it doesn't change too much on the path of like Gio and Lulu, or maybe there's a smoother path where Lulu helps pave the road for Brooklyn. I don't know. I wanted the fun path.
I mean, that's fully evolving though, right?
Yeah.
She's in such a compassionate state of mind. And it makes sense. Something so dramatic has happened. She's trying to do right by Maxie. I mean, it sucks that it had to be this extreme, but that's all she can do, right? Like Maxie is in danger. Like we don't know what's going to happen. And all she could do is really honor her by honoring the people that she loved. And that is very big of Lulu to do. But she's having this heart to heart with Obrecht. Like she actually explained, this is why I reacted. Obrecht was really honest and acknowledging her
Yeah.
mistakes because there was such compassion and understanding in that room. And clearly, the love for Maxie kind of outweighs a lot here because
It
now they're
does.
coordinating childcare together, Brooklyn and Lulu. It's hard to see her, speak badly or take those opportunities, right? To
Hmm.
elevate herself over Brooklyn with Gio, considering all of this. Mind you, when
Yes.
Obrecht knocked on the door, I honestly thought it was Gio because Emma had just left. He's like, hey, looking for Emma. And something
Mm.
inappropriate would start. But that didn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, everything is so nicey nice right now.
Yes.
I mean, it's good, I guess. But I mean, it is a soap opera. Like,
It's like I
come
told you,
on.
nobody can be happy. That's all about right. It's always short lived.
Because even in their brief conversation, Brooklyn and Lulu, she was like, I get the feeling that you kind of left the hospital because of me. And I'm like, do you need me to remind you of how
Duh.
you talk to her? Like, how you've behaved? Like, not sometimes, like, I mean, look, a lot of the times initiated by Lulu. Whatever. So for the time being, there is a detente between Lulu and all the people she hates the most, which happen to be people that Maxie loves.
Which I kind of loved. I loved that she got to she's not the only person in the world, and the fact that her world has to expand because of Maxie, and, like what Carly said, sometimes it's just not about you, it's about everything else going on, it's about the world around you. Before
But
it was
then,
about Rocco, now it's about Maxie, you know what I mean?
but it's astonishing how many people have to tell her this, that it's
Yeah, well,
not
yeah, that
about
too.
you. So this is what gets me. Like you point out, Carly and Lulu were at the Metro Court. Lulu receives the phone call. I think Gio bumps into her when she gets the call.
Mhm.
But the point is, Nina, obviously, like Maxie is her family. Maxie and Carly have a
Right.
long-standing relationship.
Yes.
Indirect family, like extended family, if you will, in terms of
Mhm,
their
mhm.
relationship and Carly's newfound relationship with Felicia since her mom died and just the connection. And I'm just like, how do you even not tell them?
Totally, I didn't even think of that.
That's where I was at. But what did you think about the Carly Nina fight? Because at first I'm like, what are they fighting about now? And then Carly
I
said it. I'm
know.
like, right, you guys never talked about this.
Okay, like, that was actually fun, like, Carly's face acting was so on point, and Nina absolutely was grasping at straws and absolutely knew that she was. I had so much fun watching that, and, like, it was so entertaining. It was, like, old school, but with a new twist with no, glass of a drink or being hit over the head with whatever she was gonna hit her over the head with last time.
Yeah, I mean, you say that Nina knows she was grasping, and I can understand, Nina needing to posture because it's Carly.
Yes.
I guess I'm just at a loss because one thing that I was saying to the TV that Carly ends up pointing out, she's like,
Yes.
"This is the second time you come at me. The next time you're gonna be in jail."
I love it. I
And I
love
was like,
it.
"Thank you, though, because I am very, very confused." I was
Right?
confused the first time, Nina started attacking her and then was literally about to bash her head in with
Right?
some artifact until Joss stopped her. And then the fact that they're having this public argument and in public, Nina lunged at her, I was kind of surprised. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, I thought we were past all this, but it seems to be really important that you remind us silently that they hate each other.
Yeah,
And
they really do, guys.
I guess that part is just, I don't know, confusing. I'm like, all right, cool, 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 cool. I'll take it, I guess.
It's, like, mildly entertaining, but confusing. That's how I feel.
Yeah, because it feels like a reach. I know that's crazy to say. And of course, they have so many issues between them. But truly, there was a place of like, to the point where they could talk to each other normally, right? They were actually respecting each other's boundaries. Like Carly respected her boundary about Nell,
Yes.
you know? So, I mean, I just feel like this is disappointing. Like, if we're going to have people like kind of get along better, I would kind of prefer the Carly Nina because we rode that out for so long that I feel like we deserve
Yeah.
some kind of reward, not reigniting this. And I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with like how things pan out with the whole Willow Drew storyline. But of course, Carly's going to be mad because you roped her into your plans when she was super reluctant about it. She didn't want to get involved in that way. And you wouldn't stop coming to her when it turns out you had a plan all your own. Like there was a way out, I mean.
Yes.
And now you have, like, Brooklyn and Lulu after seriously 0 space, and they're getting the detente. I'm like, "Why?"
Right?
I just found it funny them fighting. It was definitely entertaining. The, like, face acting was hilarious, but it was Gio because, first of all, he's asking Lulu, "Should I, like, intervene?" She's like, "No, you gotta, like, mind your own business." And I'm like, "That's rich." And then
Right?
and then, like, I think at this point, Nina might have come out of the pool, and she was still very angry, and then Gio had a towel, and then once he saw them go at it still, he, like, walked away with his towel, like, he didn't end up giving Nina the towel. So that was interesting, I guess, and I'm gonna choose to believe it's what you said, that Nina was aware that she was posturing, that she was aware that she was reaching, because I'm like, honestly, like, for Carly to be talking about Willow's well-being, a woman she no longer cares for because of everything she
Yeah.
did, why do you keep saying that you just want something all to yourself? Or, like, it was really
Haunt
what was she accusing her of?
of trying I can't remember, just, like, keeping the kids away or not caring
Yeah.
about her and things like that were just completely not true.
And it was just because we know Nina is a bit more open, right? Like
Yes.
she can see those nuances. She could talk. She can notice, like, hey, I made this mistake, that mistake. So it was really weird that she couldn't follow the conversation. But again, this was just to initiate like a fight.
Yes. Absolutely.
Gio ended up speaking directly to Drew. Drew tried, right? He tried with Gio.
He tried to make a friend, and that didn't go so well.
An
Nobody taught him how
ally,
to
not a
do that.
friend. Yeah.
Well, his version of just having people on his side, right? And I
Yeah.
love Gio's response to everything. Like, they really do give him some great lines, and he has to deal with so many wackadoo adults.
Yeah. So I kinda loved how he handled Drew, and Drew just seemed stunned and shocked. I was like, "Just stay away from Gio." Like, how many
Right?
people are you gonna kinda go after at this point? I just can't. And so anyways, from Emma, Gio kind of learns about what's going on with Maxie. So again, if it caused Lulu to thaw, I wonder what this will mean if like Gio comes across Brooklyn and she's really upset about Maxie. I definitely feel this could be like an opening.
I think so too. Like, he expressed a couple of weeks back that he does miss them and a crisis brings people together.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this, okay? When I think about Anna just questioning, right? Was she poisoned? We know that there's one doctor. specializes in like viruses and weird stuff.
Yes.
And it's not that I'm not happy about this announcement that is apparently real, that Nathan is coming back. I just don't know how I feel about it. So Nathan comes back and it's like, oh, I had your brother's baby.
Okay, wait, do we think it's a twin brother? Is this where we're going with this?
No, I think like Nate, like, I mean, to my understanding, the character is coming back. I don't know. You're right. Could be a twin, but that would be weird. But the
That would
idea
be
that
weird.
Nathan comes back is Peter was his half brother.
Right. Okay, so what I read is that he's coming back, but not as the same character.
Oh, he's not?
He's not. So I've read various different
Ugh,
articles, and so far, all of them
then
had said,
why?
we don't know. Here's the thing, because I initially thought he was going to come back in a coma dream sequence.
Oh,
But I haven't read anything about that. And so far, that was like the number one question. Is he coming back as the same character? And people are saying, interesting, juicy story, not the same character.
I feel meh. Like, I love
Same.
Nathan and I love the actor, but for so many years, this story has been sort of like set in stone. The actor came on, he like did his 3-year contract or whatever, and he left.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, whatever. At least it's not undoing the Nathan of it all. But if
Yes.
we're just going to have like a brief return, that would make me excited. It would have been calling Finn to help Maxie.
Right? That's what I was hoping.
Again,
Um,
I don't know what the story is, right? I don't know how
mhm.
these characters are gonna fit. This is a whole twist with the whole Maxie thing, so it might be just mind-blowing, but I mean, I think for me, I would have been real excited if we were gonna have, like, a brief return, have it be Finn.
I would have loved that. That would have been
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, just support for, like, Chase so he doesn't do anything stupid with Willow.
Ugh.
You know, maybe him living back on the Quartermain grounds, supporting Tracy a little bit, giving Cody some room to do his romantical things, supporting Brooklyn, like awkwardly being like a supportive brother-in-law. Could you imagine him having little talks with Gio?
Thank you.
So yeah, I would have loved to have just some Finn, just a little bit of Finn. But
We
speaking
miss
of
him.
like the Quartermains, Cody, I mean, like he was topless. Did you
A
see?
lot. A lot.
And
Glistening.
and Ava walked in, and there was my favorite line. And I loved it because Ava's Ava, and we all read that scene correctly. And I loved having that validated when Ava basically revisited that whole scene. And what did she say? She says, there are slaps and then there are slaps. And what I gave you was more of a forceful caress. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like, Cody's in this vulnerable spot. I think he had
Yes.
that talk with like Tracy about like time and honesty, blah blah blah. It's like, come on, guys! All of a sudden, everyone's like, we're done scheming. We're just down for some peas, and I'm like, no, no, people. And so then, like, you have Cody clearly having second thoughts. He's mildly confessing until Ava has some confessing of her own about
Mhm.
the Davis women and torturing them and hating Molly. And now he's like, okay, that's permission to continue. I'm doing the right thing on the floor with Ava as Molly walks in.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so bad. It's so bad. I love seeing this side of Molly though, kind of like back. I don't know why we have the old-timey scene, but I just like I love the fact that she's writing again. I love the fact that she has this crush on Cody as an adult. Like her conversation with Michael was
Best.
absolutely hilarious and adorable. Like having a crush as a grown-up is weird. It's different, right?
Well, especially that she's been with one person since she was a teenager.
Yeah.
She had such a dramatic kinda end to her marriage, like, really significant things happening to her. But, what I found funny and, like, her whole dynamic and her cutesiness, 1, great. I'm so happy that she's interacting with someone outside of the Davis women because there's always drama there. Like, it's cute,
Right.
but it's a lot, and I just feel like I wanna see Molly in these other situations, and, like, I find that if you go to the actress's, page, she does a lot of, like, quirkier things, so I kinda
Yes.
like that side of Molly. And if you've watched for a long time, it's like Kid Molly, like that whole fantasy scene, Kid Molly was so romantical.
Yeah.
And, so I do kinda love bringing those parts back, and I love the silly side. I love that there was a family member that she can relate to. I see, a little bit. Okay.
What?
Well, I mean, you got, like, her sister, which is, like, going through it. Her mom, like, they're partially criming, but, like, Michael is further away from partial crime, And
True.
Dante's full-blown not partial crime. And so she has that legal bond with Dante. I love that they're developing that relationship between her and Michael, and I love that he kind of acknowledged, like, we're the same. And I feel like Molly doesn't have a lot of that, right? Like, she's not the same
Yes.
as Christina. She's not fully the same as Alexis, and Sam's not there, which she was milder. She wasn't Sam
Yes.
either, but I feel like there was space for her in her relationship with Sam in a way that there's not so much space for her in the relationship with her mom or the relationship with Christina. So I like expanding Molly's family.
I do love that. She's
And
always so separated from everybody.
exactly. If, things happen and Christina crosses over to the dark side, Molly's going to need some other family, right? It's a new generation. They all have to connect.
It's so true.
Okay. So speaking of like the dark side, look, Brennan is going to die. Like Carly is going to murder him. This woman pouring her heart out,
Pouring her
talking
heart.
about the complex emotional connection to Maxie, BJ's heart, her mom losing a child. She'd never survive losing another. How do you sleep at night?
No, it truly is like, it's never gonna happen. I'm like, oh
I'm
boy.
just,
Oh
your
boy.
daughter's being held at gunpoint right now, but it's never, I gotta go. I got a flight to catch. Here's my wrench. And I'm like, I swear, if we wow, what a detail. What a detail. And I just don't want to know it anymore. I don't want to know about his
I
wrench, the
really
plumbing. I don't want to
don't.
know.
I don't give a
I
hoot.
don't. I don't. But my gosh, Britt was not happy to see Jason. Like that reunion did not go as planned.
This week, I crave more. Like ever since Jason came back, I
Yeah.
feel like all we get is these little snack bites of things. Like I want a whole entire meal.
Yes. Have you seen his outfits?
Well, see, it's so hard to focus. We've only seen him in a black t-shirt and jeans for decades.
No, but he was like a man. He's Jason in Port Charles. I mean, but this was me watching. I'm like, oh my God. Because we've never seen Jason in other contexts, right?
Right?
So in today's episode, I'm like, Jason is dating contractor, ELQ. I'm like, you could do that job. But then every time she spoke, I was like, ew. Ew.
So gross,
And then every time
right?
he saw, I'm like, wow, like, ew, wow, ew. That was my whole watching
Same.
experience.
Same.
And Britt was hilarious.
We were all Brit behind that bush.
Absolutely. I'm like, we don't know if he has moves. He had Sam, right? He's dated, but we've never seen him pick up a girl or talk to a girl or date. His character doesn't date. He just
doesn't date.
commits. He's a serial committer, and he will lay down his life for you. That's
And have
what
children
Jason is.
with you and
He's
run away.
dramatic. He's dramatic. He might be there. He might have a relationship with you. One day he might ride off in his motorcycle for years. He might die a couple times, but he's devoted and dramatic. I've never seen him that light and being like, this is my job. I talked to girl on beach. We have a drink of champagne before dinner. I'm like, how did he talk for that long?
Right? Oh, I loved every second of him speaking.
So I was wrong. They're going to be on this island a little longer.
Yeah, they will be, but I loved the back and forth with Britt and him, the storytelling of how each of them died and
I
came
know.
back to life, only in Port Charles or Poppies.
But then she was mad at his death.
Yep, totally
Right,
mad.
her death, she's like, you know what? I'm not telling you how I died. Forget it. And then he was asking really good questions about her death, and she didn't want to share. He told her about his death, and he tried his best not to say the C word, but she was like, Carly, always Carly. And I'm like, well, yeah. It was kind of like the family, the city, they were in danger. All of their family could have been wiped.
Right?
And I understand it was hard because while he had to pretend to be with Carly, and pretty much they pretended for the tiny part of the beginning, and then there was
Yes.
this massive declaration of love. It was let's unbox our past love. And then when Sunny
Yes.
came back, they're like, let's box it up in this little ring box, okay? Never speak of it again. And then I guess she didn't like that he closed the ring box, or Carly did.
Yes.
And then he came crawling back. She wasn't down. And like I said in our own comments, I'm like, I don't have her principles. I'd be like, okay, yes. He didn't even ask me.
Funny.
Yes. What? Where? When? We're gonna. That's, yeah. But she's like, no, until today. She was like, yes.
So cute when she shows up at his door after being really upset. Adorable.
Well, they have to make it look like it's his room when it's her room.
Right,
Yeah, that's just me.
right.
Logistics corner. And so when they were like arguing, I was just kind of like getting mad. I was like, just threaten to tell her mom.
Right?
That's what
Like,
I would
come
have
on,
done. I'd be
man.
like, you know what, Britt, I'm trying. Let's just do this the hard way. I'm FaceTiming O'Brett.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
Calling your mom. That's what I would have done. I would have been like, I can't. I'm not made for this, right? Like I would fold the minute he gets there. And then I would also do things like that. I'm gonna call your mom. But yeah,
So, like, even though there were some other, like, spicy moments this week, just them
spicy.
staring at each other with everything on was, like, the hottest.
Yeah. No, it was. It was because like as we're talking about this, obviously they're not the only couple on the island.
Mhm.
And why that guy couldn't find Gus and Vaughn, given that Colette literally told him their names, is
Yeah.
beyond. He's like, I don't know, Britt. Somebody infiltrated us. We're scanning the ground. It's like she gave you their names. Like they're registered at front desk.
Yeah,
You'll
totally.
you'll you can find their room in a jiff. I was just like, I mean, maybe you need to wake up, get out of your pajamas, and do your job.
Exactly. He's just, like, too obsessed with this, like, remote work, staying in his room, all of that stuff.
So Joss, picks up a gun, shakes,
Shakes it.
squints. She nailed it though.
I
Yeah,
She did nail
she
it, but,
did.
but that scene was a little tough. Like, I was not ready for, like, pillow afterwards.
Oh no? Well, he
I
wasn't
just thought
being
the
helpful,
shot.
Mel. He wasn't being helpful. So you feel like she should have shot him better.
Yes, and that way it would have been complete because I felt like
Well,
it was I wasn't ready mentally for that.
well, they needed more info. They
That's
needed more
true.
info. It didn't work, but like when she shot him though, she was like, "Time for flashbacks." It's like if this
Right?
happens every time you have to shoot the gun, at some point it's just going to be really long flashbacks
But
of
we
murder.
know that's true, and I'm just thinking, like, this is how we're seeing that her WSB career might be short-lived.
Yeah, yeah, it might. It might.
Until
I
she
don't know.
hardens a little bit more in life. Maybe she's not ready to go, like, full in right now. Maybe she has, like, a part-time gig, an
I don't know.
internship, a little here and dabble here and there.
Gigging in the WSB. I just thought it'd be funny to find one of her Sunny rants and show her constantly killing people. Like,
Right?
just to show how things have evolved. So this was hard for her, right?
Yes.
So she went to go take a shower in her clothes, like for full
Yeah, I
dramatic
do that
effect.
too, like that, sometimes when you're just tired, you're
Look,
like,
at least they were bringing the drama and being dramatic, right?
yes, I liked
Whereas other
that.
people are like, let's make peace. No, she brought the drama. She was dramatic. He sat down. He's like, oh wow, like she's a newbie. I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna comfort you, but I'm certainly not gonna be cold while I'm doing it. So
Oh my
he
gosh, that's
adjusts the
hilarious.
temperature,
I loved
right?
that so hard.
I mean, look, they had a scene. There will be others. It's not necessarily like a Dex Joss connection. It's definitely two people, do you know what I mean? In terms of their
They're connecting
interaction?
over the trauma? Is that what you mean, like, the
No,
trauma
no, no, they're
bonding?
they're seen in air quotes.
Yes, absolutely.
It was different. It was different than, let's say, her and Joss, where they're like, and then this was definitely what it looks like when you sleep with your coworker, I think.
Okay, wait, so Joss and Vaughn, the thing that threw me off, though, there was a lot of hand-holding, interlinked fingers.
Yeah, yeah, there's feelings.
Okay,
They're
okay.
married, Mel. It's not just a cover, because like Brennan made it seem like
Oh, boy.
Brennan is like it's just pretend. It's just pretend, but it's not pretend. They crossed that line. They even
Yes.
looked at the bed. They're like, I'll start the first shift of watching our door. Anyway, so they did their thing. They're having a romantical time. It's just a lot for Joss, but it got super funny when she finally found Jason.
That was so cute and hilarious, and I think they were both wearing white, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, the worlds need to collide. I'm just saying. Do you think she followed him? No, she ran away. She ran away.
She ran away
She ran away.
hard, and that's when she got held at gunpoint.
Right. Yeah. I wonder how they're gonna get out of this one.
I wish that's just how we ended it. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna
Um,
take them to the lab?
I hope so, actually, because that would help their case along and trap them there for a while. We know there's no signal down there, so then that buys us a little bit more time on the island.
I mean, for Vaughn to be the experienced agent, he's the one getting strangled and
Right? Come
apprehended.
on.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just waiting to see how this all unfolds at the end of the day and how Colette plays into it. But you were talking about Joss's flashback, but she wasn't the only person to do like a major flashback of their life this week. What do
Vaughn
you
did too?
think? No, Christina. Christina
Christy,
had a
oh,
major
yeah.
flashback. What do you think that means?
I don't know because I'm like, she leaves, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm like, okay, so this girl is like torn. Like, do I have to like testify? And then I'm like, wait a second. You remember that you like flung your arm away and tossed yourself out the window? You remember that?
Yes.
And then she remembers like more, murdery things. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you being like, this is how I'm going to tap into empathy for Willow? Or is this me being like, maybe I'm going to come to terms with me like this?
I was hoping to come to terms and that whole moment where like there's the awakening of this like darker side.
But it has to be like of what she's capable of and whatnot, and developing those double standards in that code, right? Like Sonny does what he does, but he finds it wrong when like other people murder.
Exactly.
So maybe that, like, yes, I did those things because she has to be a little delusional to not find fault in what she does, but to then kind of vilify Willow. But again, it's just awkward, like asking her. But anyways, I do want to believe that this is more about her transformation than fully compassion, but she's obviously being caught in the Willow storm with Rick showing up.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, we covered all the things. We talked about all the stuff. You gave away my favorite line because I loved that one too. But there is a
Okay, yeah.
but there is a moment. So when there was the Nina Carly fight and she falls into the pool and then she gets back out and there's the two patrons sitting in the corner and she
Yeah.
looks at them, she's like, "How you doing?" Just like she almost like you're wondering if it was like a throwaway line that wasn't in the script, but she like actually acknowledges them and says like, "How you doing?"
No, I did like that because it really added, because like I always keep in the back of my mind that like she did comedy too. So I kind of find it funny when like and fun when Nina kind of is Nina, right? Because there's a lot of room. You
Exactly.
could be Nina in so many different ways.
And I do this I don't even know how to like minus star or like a minus 10. I'm not sure exactly
It's
what it
about
is.
Drew.
No, it's about Curtis and Portia, and now that they have done it, they're like super solid guys. They're like soups solid.
Yep. That's what that looks like. I
Yeah,
mean,
totally.
yeah. And clearly now Jordan and Curtis will have more to talk about regarding Stella. I'm
Mhm.
glad that after just reiterating this over and over and over, Stella understood that it was important to not only have a lawyer, but that prison was kind of the risk here. Like she was being
Yes.
told this over and over, and she wasn't getting it. But yeah,
Mhm.
even though Alexis is her lawyer, like I wonder if Martin and Alexis would work together. I feel like at some point, if it meant paying Martin to kind of contribute or whatever, I feel like somehow he's gonna get that money for his ex-wives.
Well, because he's the one being investigated kind of too, because it's his case.
Yeah,
So he can't really be involved. But I'm
that's
wondering, like,
true.
between Tracy and the quartermates, or some kind of like as a Tracy reward to Martin, but then in the end, he like says, "No, I don't want to take your money for helping," and then their relationship continues. But I do see how that's all gonna work together.
Yeah, they have to, like, to be pulled into that storyline. There was something that I thought was funny. I don't remember exactly who he said this to. It had to have been Martin. It was Drew. But he was saying something like, I could have taken him because there was a lot of like
Oh, yes.
comical jabs about like Drew, like, seriously, like, aren't you a Marine?
Yes, no, it was Anna. She's like, "Okay, so let me get this straight. You, a trained Navy SEAL, was attacked by your nephew?"
I loved how everybody was making fun. Even at the precinct, they were still making fun of him.
Yeah, it was amazing. You saw, like, those veins, like, popping out of his head. It was beautiful.
It's so good.
So good. And started Drew. Like, he does evil so well that I get lost sometimes in the moment of how much I dislike him, but I
Mhm.
love the actual person. So he's doing such a great job of making this Drew character so unlikable.
Well, exactly, because this is happening, but, like, in his real life, he's, like, fostering a dog.
Right?
It's
Like, he's a
just
cutie.
it's just the contrast is just insane. This is just, like, a funny nod to Jocelyn and Vaughn trying to do whatever they're supposed to be doing. Like, how they murdered the guy, the assassin? They're like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, our window was small before they come looking for this guy, so you know what we should do? We should sleep on it and handle it tomorrow." I'm like, "If the window is so small, how are you guys sleeping?
Right?
They're gonna know." That's just what
They're
I'm
gonna
thinking. They're
know.
gonna know.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
agree. Oh my gosh, folks. What was your favorite, your cutie pie moment of the week?
Oh, that's easy. Has to be Molly and Michael. It even sounds good, the alliteration. I think that they were so adorable, her divulging her crush, them having such a cute conversation. So yes, don't forget to check out the Cutie Pie coloring book. Thank you for those who have been purchasing it. You can check out our Instagram page at Cutie Pie Coloring. The Cutie Pie coloring book is available on Amazon. Hope you guys get it. Enjoy it, color, name it, create fun stories with your families like we do.
Oh, I love that so much. Okay, folks, we did it. Have a fantastic weekend. That's a wrap. Bye bye.
Bye.